fail at making your days productive, it's probably because your morning does not set the tone for it. Or when you start working, you probably don't feel like you are in the mood for working. In this video, I'm showing you my exact routine before I sit down to work and while I'm working as well, so that I can be at my productive best. Note that I don't work so much these days, but whenever I do, I make sure that I am making the full use of my time. The first thing I do is actually make a checklist. Your checklist should jot down each and every task that you want to accomplish through the day or the week, and check out each task after you accomplish them.
Something I also try is actually giving these tasks a time estimate, because that really helps me a lot in keeping a track of how much time I actually should be spending on each task. When you don't give yourself any given time limit, often you actually spend more time than you actually should have. So yeah, I highly suggest that while you are making your own checklists for the day, give yourself some time limits for each task. For example, my first task for the day is the mentorship calls, and each mentorship call ideally is about an hour. But sometimes the calls do get extended, and that's totally fine. So I do add about 15 minutes to each. So I would give myself about 2.5 hours for this task. Delivering a YouTube video, while the YouTube video is short, it takes me about 1 hour to actually optimize everything and prepare everything and then hit upload. So I would give myself about 45 minutes here so that I can actually be more productive in a less amount of time. Sometimes giving yourself a lesser timeline actually helps you be more productive. So yeah, make sure that you take this step when you're making your checklist, and let's move on to the next part of my productive routine.
After my checklist is done, I put back my pencils in place. A clean desk really makes me feel very happy and in the mood for working. And then I wear a watch. I'm habituated to work from home, but I wear a watch usually when I go out. So when I wear a watch at home, it makes me feel like I'm ready to start working. Another thing that I highly recommend you guys to do is, once your checklist is made, put it aside. You don't have to keep looking at it all the time. And then the next thing I do is start a podcast. Now, I listen to both art, culture related podcasts and business podcasts, but on this day I wanted to listen to something related to literature. One of my favorite podcasts is History of Literature, which has some amazing episodes. You should totally check it out. And I was listening to an episode of Anna Karenina on this podcast, which I really loved. I let the podcast play while I am working, so that even if I start feeling like I am slacking, I have someone's voice to remind me that no, it is kind of time to work. Sometimes I feel lazy just right after I start working, so this helps. Another thing that I do is I review one of the lists that I made. It is a list of some of the most important skills that you can have, underrated skills that you can have, and I make sure that I am working towards at least one of them. The next thing that you can do is actually open your laptop or open your copy and start working or studying or whatever you want to do on that particular day.
Something about me that you should know is that I never work at a stretch. Every time I'm working, I make sure that I take ample amount of breaks. If you want to be very productive, it's a very good idea to use the Pomodoro Technique. I've talked about this technique many times on my channel, but there's a book. Yes, mom, make sure that you grind everything right now. I've talked about the Pomodoro Technique many times on my YouTube channel, but there's a brilliant book that you should read if you want to master it. It's also called Pomodoro Technique though. But yeah, definitely make sure you read this book if you want to master it. It's pretty life-changing, but basically you take ample amount of breaks at actually measured times to make sure that you are not exhausting yourself. So 25 minutes of work followed by 5 minutes of break, or what I personally like to follow, 50 minutes of work followed by 10 to 15 minutes of break. This is the method that works the best for me, and I hope that it will help you be productive too. Back to work now.
If you're wondering what I'm doing, I have a freelance consulting business where I help people get started making money online with freelancing with skills like writing, marketing, web designing, etc. And this is the bonuses that I give them so that they can work on their own or go through the path on their own after my consultancy is over. And one of the worst things about me is that I do not review things after I'm done with them. So I'm kind of reviewing everything this time so that everything is in place and no one faces any problem while going through the process. One thing I do once in a while is actually listen to Headspace so that I become more productive. Headspace is an amazing app if you want to meditate, if you want to stay more focused, concentrated. This is not sponsored. I wish it was because I love Headspace so much. It'll be like a dream come true for me. But I highly recommend this. The basic version is totally free and there's a lot of things that you can listen to or use even without paying anything. And it makes me so much more productive than general. As you come towards the end of the day, make sure that you keep checking off everything. And yeah, that'll be all for today's video. So 3 things: making a checklist and adhering to it, taking ample breaks, and listening to something like songs, podcasts, etc., which actually makes you feel energized. By the way, this is my new workspace. How is it, guys? I really made it myself. I used an Amazon wallpaper that I'll leave a link to in the description below. And yeah, I hope that you guys like this background. That'll be all for today's video, guys. I'll be back with another video next week, and I hope that you like this video. I really enjoy making vlogs and I hope that you enjoy them too. Bye bye.